The storm clouds rolled low over the quiet neighborhood, the kind of sky that made even the bravest feel uneasy. On an empty sidewalk, a wheelchair creaked as it moved slowly, its occupant, a young pregnant woman named Lena, struggling to push forward with trembling hands. Her breath was uneven, her eyes fixed on the road ahead, though her heart kept racing for reasons she could not explain. She had always been cautious, always alert, but nothing could have prepared her for the terrible moment when a giant K9, escaped, frantic and unpredictable, burst from behind a broken gate and lunged toward her. In the space of a heartbeat, danger became real and death felt close enough to touch. It was the kind of moment that froze the world, leaving only the sound of her pounding heartbeat echoing through her chest. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us bring more life-changing stories like this to you. The K9 charged with terrifying speed, its paws slamming against the pavement, its deep growl cutting through the heavy silence. Lena couldn't move. Not fast enough. Not at all. Paralyzed from the waist down after a tragic car accident 2 years earlier, she depended entirely on her wheelchair, a fragile shield against the harshness of the world. Her unborn child shifted inside her as if sensing the danger. Panic shot through her veins, but all she could do was hold her breath and brace for impact. She closed her eyes, whispering an apology to the life within her. And then, like lightning tearing the darkness, a roaring engine shattered the stillness. A massive Harley skidded to a halt, and a figure clad in black leather, patched with the unmistakable emblem of the Hell Angels, swung off the bike. His boots pounded the ground as he sprinted forward. His name was Cole, a seasoned biker with a reputation rough enough to scare off half the town, but something in his eyes, something wounded, something human, sparked differently when he saw the terrified woman cornered by the giant dog. He didn't hesitate. He didn't think twice. He threw himself between her and the lunging K9, arms wide, eyes locked on the animal with a strange calmness that didn't match the chaos around them. The K9 snarled, teeth bared, ready to strike, but Cole held firm, lowering himself slowly as if talking silently to the creature's soul. The dog's fury faltered. Something in Cole's presence, steady, fearlessly gentle, made the K9 hesitate, confused, trembling. The scene froze for a long, tense moment, and then the dog's growl softened. It slowed, backing away slightly, no longer attacking but whimpering in pain. That's when Cole noticed the blood on its hind leg, the deep wire wound cutting into its flesh. The dog had not been attacking out of malice. It had been terrified and hurting, just like many souls he had met on the roads of his long, battered life. Once danger passed, he turned toward Lena. Her face was wet with tears, her breath shaking uncontrollably as she stared at the man who had placed himself between her and death. Cole knelt beside her, ensuring she was unhurt. There was something incredibly soft in the way he looked at her, something that didn't match the intimidating tattoos running across his arms or the thunder of the Harley behind him. He understood fear, helplessness, and brokenness. He had lived through his own storms. As the rain began to fall, Cole lifted the injured K9 gently, surprising everyone who would have expected a tough biker to respond with aggression or anger. He carried the dog to his bike and secured it carefully before returning to Lena. He asked if she had family nearby, but she shook her head. Her husband had left after learning the baby might have complications, and she'd been surviving alone ever since. Her accident had taken not just her legs but pieces of her life that she had once held close. Cole listened quietly, something tightening in his jaw, not anger but recognition. He too had lost people who couldn't handle his storms. Without asking for anything in return, Cole helped her home, pushing her wheelchair while rain drenched them both. Inside her tiny apartment, he fixed her a warm drink, checked her supplies, and even repaired a loose wheel on her chair. Before he left, he promised to return the next day with food and essentials she was too afraid to admit she needed. He kept that promise. And the next day. And the next. Over the following weeks, Cole became her unexpected guardian. He took the injured K9, now named Titan, to a vet, paid for its treatment, and brought the dog back to her once it healed. Titan, once a terror, became her gentle protector. The Hell Angels biker, once judged by his leather and scars, became her anchor. Lena slowly rediscovered pieces of confidence she thought she had lost forever. Her baby bump grew, and so did her hope. But life, as always, tested them again. One evening, Lena collapsed, clutching her stomach in agony. Cole found her just in time, rushed her to the hospital, and stayed through the night pacing outside the emergency ward. Hours felt like days. He feared losing both the woman who had unknowingly softened his broken heart and the baby who represented a new beginning. When the doctor finally emerged, Cole braced himself for the worst. Instead, he was told that both mother and baby were stable, but it had been close. Lena needed support, emotional and physical, more than ever. Cole walked into her room slowly, overwhelmed with relief when he saw her smiling weakly, holding her newborn daughter. In that moment, something inside him shifted permanently. He asked how she was feeling, and she whispered that she wouldn't have survived if he hadn't been there. Cole's eyes glistened, not with tears he would let fall, but with a depth of emotion he could no longer hide. Titan rested his head on Lena's bedside, as if understanding that this fragile moment tied them all together. Lena named the baby Hope, because she said that's exactly what Cole had given her, a reason to believe again. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stories of compassion deserve to be heard. Special request, before we end, please comment below one word that this story made you feel. And so, in a world that often judges by appearances and labels, a paralyzed pregnant woman, a wounded K9, and a hardened biker prove that kindness can rise from the unlikeliest places. Their lives, once marked by pain and loss, became intertwined in a bond built on courage, healing, and unexpected love. And sometimes, that is all any of us truly need, a moment of humanity to remind us that goodness still exists.